There's a lot of overpowered tanks in World of Tanks Blitz, from Tier 6 all the way to Tier 10. And one of the most overpowered Tier 6s is this, the Soviet Tier 6 Heavy, the KV-1S. This vehicle features 400 Alpha, way too good mobility, and 8 degrees of gun depression for a Tier 6 Heavy. Anybody that's played this tank knows just how insanely stupid it is when you're going up against Tier 5s, or even Tier 7s with what it has going for it. But today, we're focusing on an even better version of the KV-1S, the Thunder. See, this tank has massive advantages over the KV. First of all, it has 189 millimeters of standard pen versus the 170 millimeters of standard pen the KV-1S has. That's a big advantage. The only real downside the Thunder has is worse DPM. The KV-1S has 1400 DPM and the Thunder has 1260. So it's about 150 DPM difference. But in return, the Thunder has 10 degrees of gun depression instead of the 8 the KV-1S has, and the biggest advantage is that the Thunder has better hull armor. It's 108 millimeters on the hull of the Thunder versus the KV-1S, which is 81. And that means that this vehicle cannot be penned frontally with high explosive shells from 150 millimeter cannons. For example, anybody that plays the Smasher, that plays the SU-152, or any derpy high alpha HE gun knows that the lower plate of the KV-1S is weak enough you can actually load high explosive and pen it. This vehicle does not have that problem, and that makes this tank much more reliable, especially when you're up against those high alpha guns. When you pair that with the 10 degrees of gun depression, still very solid mobility, and ridiculously high pen for a tier 6 heavy, the KV-1S and Thunder are both crazy good, but I think I definitely put the Thunder just a league above. So here we are in our Tier 6 and 5 battle. Up against us, we have a Leopard 1 or not a Leopard 1. Yes, guys, we have a Leopard 1 in Tier 5. We have a Leopard, an M4 Sherman, and a Stridsvan M42. And then in Tier 6, we have a VK30, T37, M6, and AT8. This is a pretty chill lineup overall. Honestly, if Wargaming were to give this tank enhanced graphics, I think it would look really, really nice, because it already looks pretty sick. We don't really have a lot of all-black tanks in Blitz. We have, like, the IS-7 camo, and apart from that, I guess this tank, and that's really about it. On World of Tanks PC, they've got a bunch of vehicles. They have the T-34B, the IS-6B. There's a bunch of black variants they've released. I think they were specifically for Black Friday, but they're literally just, like, all-black camos, and I think they look sick. And I wish Wargaming made some variants like that in Blitz as well. So, let's speed on up. Now, one thing you will see is that this tank actually has a really cool animation, and as you drive faster, the star on the side lights up and has, like, little like, flare effects coming off of it. It's actually pretty sick, and another reason why I just think this tank's very cool. We can see the mobility, though. Like, this is a fast tank for everything considered. 43 kilometers per hour in a tank that has surprisingly good armor, mobility, and gun depression. Like, look at this. 10 degrees of gun depression on this tank. That's crazy. So we got the enemy VK30 over here, and of course my teammate has to drive in front of me. Move out of my way. Bonk. Nice shot. We're going to angle it, but the one thing this tank does not have is incredibly good armor. Like, you will get bounces, but, you know, it's not something that you expect to get normally. Now, the DPM is the big downside of this tank, but it's really not a big problem because, again, you deal enough damage to take what is a full health medium and now be 150 health. Like, one shot, that player's dead. That's it. That's all you have to do in this vehicle. Now we move up, and in 5 more seconds, we can shoot the T-37. Let's see if we can do it again. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Actually, I'm just going to shoot the M6 at this point. Let's aim in, and there you go. 386. Then we back up. And my AMX gets in my way. It must be very hard to look at where you're driving. It must be. Either way, we're going to reload here. We're going to chill. We got 6 seconds left on our reload. 3. Oh, not even 3. We're still reloading here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bonk. That's not where I aimed, but you know what? It's still penned, so I really can't get too mad. We have the Leopard and the T-37. And they're going to shoot our teammate. We still have 8 seconds left, but that's fine. In just a moment here, we'll have another shell. And we'll be able to bonk the Leopard, ideally. Let's see. Hello, Mr. Leopard. And I wonder if we can hit that. I'm going to try. Nah, we'll just fire AP. That's not worth it. I know how my RNG works in this game, and I'm not testing my luck. So, all that's left at this point is an AT8. And, I mean, we just absolutely ripped apart the enemy team. As I said, like, DPM, not very good on this tank, but it doesn't really matter because everything else is fine. So let's aim it on the lower plate of this AT8. Just give it a moment. I'm going to aim it on the very, very, very under superstructure. And there you go. Nice 413. I'm not really worried about this player, to be honest. I mean, sure, could they kill me? Yeah, but, I mean, look at him, bro. He's not going to do anything to me. What are we doing? Oh, man, this poor AT8. I feel almost bad for him. Just almost bad for him. All right, get out of here. There you go. Pretty easy game. We can see that, sure, DPM is low on this vehicle. But as I say time and time again, damage per minute is not the deciding factor on how you do in Blitz. And this game was a pure example of that. 2,765 damage dealt in a Tier 5 battle. Imagine if we were up against Tier 7s. Could have done even more, and that placed us top in the team by quite a large margin. The other great thing is because this is a collector, we earned credits, 69,000. But a pretty good battle to start off the day with. Let's do one more game in the Thunder and see if we can keep it up. But, I mean, this is why the tank is so good. Because, as I said, you got this incredibly high alpha, you've got ridiculous levels of gun depression, and solid mobility. And the armor's mid, like, it's 103 frontally, which, as I said, is not able to be high explosive penned. But, you know, you're still going to get penned by most Tier 6s and almost every Tier 7. You will get bounces from Tier 5s, though, which is nice. But yeah, like the armor, it's never going to be the strong suit of the Thunder. But thankfully, because it has all of these other values going for it, I mean, that poor Stridsvon M42 was a one-shot after I penned that player. And, you know, like the SU-100Y, for example, that tank's great. SU-100Y has 460 damage per shot, 530 on the premium AP, which is crazy good. But the SU-100Y has some downsides. It's freaking huge, which means, especially late game, it can be a little hard to carry if your team absolutely sucks, which isn't unheard of in Tier 6. And it's not a heavy, so you don't have nearly as many hit points. And the Spark is the same thing. It's not a heavy. I think the Spark's incredibly OP, but sometimes I want to drive a heavy, and this is definitely just one of the best all-time heavies in Tier 6. So, here we go. We are on Biddberg, and because we have decent mobility, we're going to head up the hill and support our team. What do we have? We got a Gargoyle, AMX Miss. I don't think that's the same one as before. By the way, why is the AMX Miss the most played tank in Tier 6? Like, I actually don't understand. It's something I made a video on a couple weeks ago. And every time I play Tier 6, there's an AMX Miss. I don't even understand it. I don't get it. Like, it's an alright tank. It's fun. I like it. But, like, why do so many people, A, have it, and B, like, I know Wargaming gave it away for free, but that was a decent time ago. Decent amount of time ago, if I'm not mistaken. I'm very confused on the decisions that the player base makes sometimes. Alright, well, we can see it looks like the enemy team is making their way up here. I'm trying to get to the front line as fast as possible, but unfortunately, when you're in low-tier battles, you can't really expect the enemy team to know what they're doing, and because of that, it can be a little hard sometimes to deal damage, and that's what we're running into right now, is the enemy team's dying before we even get there. Okay, well, we do get a clear into the enemy there, and the Leopard's dead, and now we gotta wait 10 seconds before we can shoot this Crusader. This is where the DPM being a little bit lower might hurt us a bit, because I obviously want to get a shell into the Crusader, but actually, I think we'll still be alright. Let's aim it on his side. There you go. 330. I did fire an HE, and the enemy team's dead. What? It's been a minute and a half, and there's 4 tanks dead on the enemy team. Oh my god. It's not just Tier 10 that has turbo battles, guys. It's every tier in Blitz. Sometimes, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to enjoy this game when you literally drive up a hill for 1 minute, and then by the time you've already cleared the hill, the entire game is over. Like, what? Just what? Alright, let's aim it on the AT8. Let's get on his side. There you go. 412 damage shot. Oh, we did 1,000 damage. That's about as exciting as it's going to get here, I guess. Let's reload. We got 10 seconds left. This is where, again, the poor levels of DPM could affect you, but it's not too big of a deal. Oh, I wonder if we can actually HE this play right here. And, oh, we can. 502. Not bad. That put us from 1,000 damage to 1,570. I mean, that's not terrible. That's a decent amount, I guess, for the game we just played. And I'm still pretty confident we probably did top on the team. But yeah, Tier 6 games sometimes they're a little sussler. That's all I'm going to say. They're a little sussler. Let's take a look at the post-game results. Yeah, not too surprising. I mean, Personally, I think the Thunder really is just an insanely strong vehicle, and I would definitely consider it in the OP category. I think the KV-1S is just as strong. They're really different and to each their own. But let me know what you guys think about both of these vehicles in the comments down below. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.